The Manhattan Project was the top-secret code name for the United States' ambitious program during World War II to develop an atomic bomb. It was the most extensive scientific effort ever undertaken at that time. The project involved 37 installations spread across the country, including at least 13 university laboratories, and it engaged around 100,000 people, including renowned physicists like Arthur Holly Compton, Enrico Fermi, Richard Feynman, Ernest Lawrence, and Harold Urey, who had won Nobel Prizes for their contributions to science. The roots of the Manhattan Project can be traced back to a letter sent in 1939 by the physicist Albert Einstein to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. In this letter, Einstein warned of German efforts to build a nuclear weapon and urged Roosevelt to establish a committee to oversee nuclear developments. However, it wasn't until 2 years later that Roosevelt took action, directing the Office of Scientific Research and Development, a government agency, to explore the possibility of creating an atomic bomb. In 1942, the project took a significant step forward when the Army Corps of Engineers was assigned the task of constructing facilities for research and testing. This part of the project was managed by the Corps of Engineers Manhattan District, which gave the entire initiative its name. Roosevelt appointed Brig. Gen. Leslie R. Groves, the Army's chief engineer, as the project's director. Maintaining absolute secrecy was a key priority for Groves throughout the Manhattan Project. Scientists worked in isolation, often scattered in different parts of the country, unaware of the broader project they were contributing to. J. Robert Oppenheimer, one of the scientists, voiced concerns about the lack of communication among researchers and its potential impact on the project's success. He discussed with Groves the need for a central laboratory. Oppenheimer identified a remote location in Los Alamos, New Mexico, which was subsequently approved by Groves. Construction of the Los Alamos laboratory and compound began in late 1942, and Oppenheimer was appointed its head in early 1943. The scientists at Los Alamos focused on developing the technology for the atomic bomb, while other facilities across the country, such as the Clinton Engineer Works in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and the Hanford Engineer Works on the Columbia River in Washington State, worked on producing sufficient amounts of U-235, a form of uranium, and plutonium needed for the bomb. In 1945, President Franklin D. Roosevelt passed away, and Harry S. Truman assumed the presidency. During that spring and summer, the United States was preparing for a potential invasion of Japan. Military experts estimated that such an offensive could result in massive casualties, with projections ranging from 500,000 to 1 million U.S. soldiers. At the same time, the Manhattan Project scientists anticipated having a working atomic bomb by July. On July 16, the scientists conducted the first test of the bomb at a location close to Alamogordo, New Mexico, about 250 miles, 400 kilometers, south of Los Alamos. The test explosion had the power of approximately 40,000 pounds, 18,000 kilograms, of dynamite, making it 2,000 times more powerful than any other bomb existing at that time. Upon learning of the successful test at Alamogordo, President Truman faced a difficult decision. He wanted to avoid a costly invasion of Japan, bring the war to a decisive end, and also demonstrate the United States military strength to the Soviet Union. Consequently, Truman decided to use an atomic bomb on Japan. On July 26, he and other Allied leaders issued the Potsdam Declaration, warning Japan of complete and utter destruction unless it surrendered unconditionally. When Japan did not comply, on August 6, the United States dropped a uranium bomb, known as Little Boy, on the city of Hiroshima. 3 days later, on August 9, a plutonium bomb called Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki. Following these devastating bombings, Japan announced its intention to surrender on August 10 and officially surrendered on September 2, marking the end of World War II. The use of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki remains a highly controversial and debated event in history.